This is going to be a long one with a lot of talking, so stick with me. Let's talk about fear. I recently saw a video by Mike from MCQ Bushcraft. He got an email from one of his subscribers where he mentions that he's afraid of being outdoors and spending the night outdoors alone. I saw that video and I kind of reflected on it, and I want to share my perspective. So I'll link the original video here from or to Mike's channel, so you should go and watch that one, get some more input from that. And also, of course, I would like to hear everyone who's watching your perspective, and if you got any tips. These are just my thoughts, reflections, and tips on it. I think it's natural to be afraid. We're all afraid of some different things. Me, for instance, I used to be, I think I still am in one way. I'm afraid of heights. I did skydive once to kind of try to beat that. I felt like I was going to die, pretty much. And I wouldn't say that I did it. I was more like I was hooked on to the guy who did it, and I just kind of followed along and closed my eyes, and you know, I was ready to go. And I've also been to Norway. That's scary in itself. That's a joke. No, but there's a big rock there. Not a big rock, it's a boulder. It's called Kjerog or Kjerog. It's like 800-900 meters up, and it's between two cliffs. You can go out and stand on that rock. That's also really, really scary. There's nothing to hold on to, and you kind of need to jump out to stand on that rock. But I did that as well to try to challenge my fear of heights. I managed to do it, and you know, it empowers you to do more and challenge yourself more. If you're not afraid of something, it's much easier to do, and I think you have to understand that it's also in your head. So back to the point. The first thing that crosses my mind is you need to figure out, okay, what am I actually afraid of? Is it animals? Is it noise? Or is it just the fact that I'm alone? Nobody will be able to reach me, or, you know, figure out what you're afraid of. Step one. Tip number two would be, for instance, if you're afraid of going out camping and spending the night outdoors alone, don't start alone. There's nothing that you don't need to do it alone the first couple of times. You can just do it with a friend or a group and ease into it and get the routines in. You just try sleeping in your tent in your backyard or wherever possible, or like I mentioned, with someone else, and just make it become natural, so you know what to do, you get the routine. I think that will help a lot, just get the routine and be comfortable with your gear, with your tent and everything around you, so to say. So you know what to do, and then you can push that and you know, taking it, okay, let's go out to the woods, from the backyard to the woods, still bring a friend, still have the same routines, keep your mind occupied and focus on the different things that you need to do, because there's a lot of tasks. You need to set up the tent, you need to make food, you need to prepare your sleeping gear, and that will occupy your mind for a long time. It's okay to be afraid, it's okay to be scared, but I wouldn't let that, I think the challenge is to not to let that stop you from doing it. There's always noises in the dark, and your mind starts running away, and the imagination of everything starts to come, and of course things can happen, but things can happen everywhere. So with that logic, you will not be able to do anything, and I don't think it's a good thing to let your fear stand in your way for the things that you want to do. Now my preferred way is actually going out like this, going out alone, and my biggest challenge now is to try to avoid people. I'm really looking for that solitude, the peace of mind, and just being with yourself, getting the time to reflect. A lot of people see the outdoors as going away, going into the wild or something like that. I try to flip it around and see it more like I'm coming home. I feel at home, I feel safe. And with that mindset, it's a lot easier. Of course, there's going to be animals and noises like we mentioned, but try to see it more in a way that it would be cool to see an animal. It would be like, what is that noise? That's amazing. That's a fantastic noise. Or like around this area, there's a lot of forest mice running around. It's beautiful to see them. So you're more like intrigued and fascinated by the things that you hear and see. Should you see like a deer, fox, of course that's also that's super cool. And really I cannot stress enough the feeling of coming home, not going out into the wild, into the unknown. It is wild and it is unknown, but if you more have the mindset of that you're coming home and that we belong here, I think that will help a lot. Obviously that's easy to say, and there is precautions that you should take depending on where you are. I know that if you have, I don't know, grizzly bears in your area, you should consider doing the right things to sort of handle those situations. As many of you know, I live in the south of Sweden. The biggest sort of danger around here, I would say, would probably be hogs. They run pretty fast. You're not going to outrun them, and they can be pretty fearsome if you get close to them when they have their cubs and everything. But they're also shy, and they don't, if you don't cross their path or if you don't mess around with them, they usually try to or tend to stay away from you like most other animals. And then further up we have bears, we have bears, we have there's wolves, moose could be if you get in, cross their path in the wrong time, and they could also be dangerous. You got a couple of other predators, but again, it's also how you see it. If I were to see a bear, I don't know, that would be an amazing experience, and something that I really want to do, and I would be super excited about it. I remember when I was up north and I was going alone, and I saw a bear track or the footprint, and you feel it's really scary, but it's also really, really cool. So it's all about how you intend to, or your mindset around it. Then you need to think about the things that you feel safe with, or the things that make you feel safe. I would try to leave all the guns at home and focus more on the mindset of coming home if the area that you're in allows you to do so. Otherwise, there you can always carry like bear spray, and just make the right precautions, and don't store your food where you sleep, for like basic stuff that you should think about. Do those things. That's not what I'm saying. Really do those things, and then maintain the right amount of safety and security for yourself. There's no point of putting yourself out there in unnecessary risk. That's not the point. The point is to enjoy it and get energy from being alone and being outdoors, and really take the time to take it all in and enjoy that experience, so you want to come back. One of the things that Mike mentioned was reconnaissance, or just looking around the area that you're in and really getting to know it. I think that's a great tip as well. And you can do that, and you can spend the whole day there, and when it gets dark you can still look around. You don't need to spend the night just because you're there. And if it feels safe, you just push it. See how far you can go, and if you feel safe enough, why not try it? But then again, if you don't feel safe and the area that you're in gives you a bad vibe, leave, come back some other time, and but I think it's really important to get to know the area that you're in and look around, take your time. Great way of doing that is just like collecting firewood. Don't maybe necessarily take the pieces of wood that are nearest to your camp. Go around, check around, see what you can find, and get an idea of what the area that you're in looks like, and then come back to camp. And then once it gets darker and you need more firewood, you can use the things that are closer to camp. Another thing that I did not start out with, but that I'm definitely doing now, is at first when I went out, I didn't have like anything to cover my eyes or my ears, so you automatically everything settles down. You go to sleep, or you go into your tent or underneath your tarp or your sleeping bag or whatever. And then you're just there and you start to listen, and then the imagination comes, of course. So after a while, I just focused more on the next day and more on having a comfortable night's sleep. And I know for a fact that I will not sleep good if my mind is really racing and I'm thinking about every little noise that's happening around me. So I try to focus more, being logical, and focus more on sleeping good. So what I do is I cover my eyes. I have a buff that I sleep with every night, even when I'm at home. And I use earplugs also when I'm at home. So I'm kind of addicted to them now, which probably not is a good thing, but I don't know. I need them to sleep. And when I'm out like this, I use them the same way. So you have like sort of the same routine as you have at home. Kind of feels like you're in a big cathedral around here. Just looking around. This is already a pretty long video, so I might as well tell you about the first time that I went solo camping, or I went out alone. I walked, or I was supposed to walk around 30 kilometers. Got blisters, did not have anything to take or to deal with that. I had to make a hole in them with a knife that was really not made for that, so that was kind of a disaster. I had an old thick heavy tarp from the army. I think it's like from the 50s or something, so like a canvas tarp but triangular shaped. I think I have some photos of it. And it was in the summer, so there was no bug protection or anything like that, so there's a lot of bugs in my head the whole night. Not pleasurable at all. And I was like, oh well, you need to have a fire as well, so I had that. And I made the fire really close to where I was sleeping, like way too close. And then I had my my sleeping pad, very thin one, not comfortable at all. I was sleeping in between two rocks because I thought that was going to be a good idea. But there was also kind of a lean in the ground. So yeah, the fire is at the bottom, then my sleeping pad and my sleeping gear and myself is slowly sliding down towards the fire, mosquitoes, and just complete disaster. But yeah, I mean, you gotta start somewhere. That was my first solo night out. I had a good time. I mean, I will always remember that. I was like, I'm going to fish as well because I really want to be like outdoorsy. I caught a fish probably this size. So yeah, I was really proud of myself, and I still managed to make the fire and the whole thing. So there's like small victories leading you or taking you towards the right path. And yeah, the point of this is pretty much just saying that we all started somewhere, and I've always been fascinated by nature and going out there, and I think that's the thing about doing it alone, especially because you can do so much with this. You can do it really hardcore, or you can do it really really enjoy it, or take your time to reflect. So you can do all sorts of different variations in camping or being outdoors. But I think the main thing is just go out there, be curious, and really explore, and just be okay with not making everything perfect or getting everything right the first time. You will make mistakes and things will happen, but it's how you handle those situations that will get you through and get you that experience, and you will improve for the next time. Since then I've come a long way, and I had really good nights out with a lot of energy, coming back from adventures or just solo nights out. So it's something that I really recommend doing and trying out, and just, you know, take it in your tempo. So yeah, that's a pretty long video. Like I mentioned, I'm happy that you guys decided to stay through the whole thing. Again, if you have any tips, reflections, just comment below and we'll talk about it. You can follow me here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook, as you know by now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I think we're up to 8,000 now. That's pretty cool. We're slowly, or it's starting to pick up. That's it's cool to see. So we're a little gathering now, a little community. I really like that. That's cool, and I've gotten to know so many people throughout this whole thing. And yeah, there's a lot of great things coming again in the coming months. I'm really considering, you know, the next 5 to 10 years. What is the plan? What do you want to do? What do you want to get out from life? So midlife crisis, or, you know, 30 years old, or I don't know what it is, but yeah, starting to really think about what do you want to do in life. It's interesting. A lot of things happening. I'll share more with you guys as soon as I know, as you know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. I gotta go make some pancakes now. You should watch that video. It's gonna be awesome. Probably a mouse. Or a snake, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go make some pancakes and some vegetable mix. There was a lot of protein in one of the other videos, so gotta do some vegetables now to even it out. I hope you guys will join me for that video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.